I am so excited. I'm doing the show remotely today. We just got back from Sedona, and today I'm covering a very important topic on how to deal with difficulty, disappointment, and betrayal by using the KISS method. I will also be covering dealing with energetic vampires, the whole concept of us as energetic beings getting hijacked by the 7 deadly sins, the law of consent, and the right use of free will, as well as the law of one, and the importance of rest, relaxation, and self-care, and much more this morning. So thank you for tuning in. And I wanted to get you guys started this morning with a little upbeat spoken word called Heartbeat.
Never knew I was blind all this time to the love that was already mine. Please forgive me, heavenly dear. I never knew you were always near. I have been lost for so long, but now I'm ready to find my way home. Willingly cleaning up my act by diligently sticking to the facts. Yes, I have been in hiding, it's true. Hiding myself from the God in you. I am the only one who can be me. Yet I am the very one I cannot see. For sure, I am done with this old game. Yes, I am ready to know my true name and why I chose to come to earth without knowing my sacred birth. So much darkness all around. For sure, I am ready to leave this town and make my way where love abounds, with peace and harmony, the only sound. Yes, I am so ready to leave behind growls of the hounds of hell nipping at my feet. I dust them off to the beat, to the beat. The only thing that really matters is to let my suffering be shattered by the healing music of the spheres and dance with those I hold so dear. I only know what I know for sure, but not enough to make me secure. So I'm starting to learn a brand new way to help me evolve with every day. By exchanging my age-old stubborn will, I find my inner strength by being still, releasing this costly need for control. I stumble across the lost parts of my soul. This long-awaited eye of the storm brings with it a much-needed calm. It's like a balm massaged into an aching arm, or the song that quiets a baby's alarm. This world can have its poison sweets that give you a lift, then knock you to your feet. Feeling empty, confused, and incomplete, I just dusted to the beat. To the beat, 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 beat. My heart beat, 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 beat. Finally, This much I have come to know, that every setback helps me to grow. Once I learned to re-script my own story, from pain and suffering into one of glory. You can do it too. You can do it too. I'm with you now, you can do it too. I'm with you once, you can do it too. When two or more people in agreement, it happens. Stop suffering, start laughing. I'm with you. I pray with you. Let's go, 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 go. Let's go. I dust them off to the beat.
All right. Shout out to Crystal and Simon for their help with that video, and of course to Vanessa for all the work that she did in putting together such incredible images to go along with the words. That should have gotten you going and given you something to think about. And that whole concept of dusting it off to the beat, the easiest way to deal with disappointment and difficulty and betrayal is to put it all into perspective. And so I think what I want to start out with is the whole concept of the fact that we are energetic, divine beings, and we're capable of this incredible range of emotions from the very, very low end of the scale to the highest end of the scale, where we're talking about sheer bliss, or on the opposite end, the depths of despair and self-flagellation and self-loathing and self-pity. I find it very interesting and fascinating how much time humanity has wallowed in the deep, dark end of negative emotions and despair, when there is such an incredible range on the other side. And the challenge is just to kind of get to the middle first, to get out of the depths of despair and feeling sorry for yourself and feeling victimized and moving into neutrality. That's an incredible place to be, being in the middle. And I tell the students in the course in Singularity that the original Christians, they were not called Christians, the original followers were called people of the middle way. And that would be that place of neutrality where no matter what is happening to you in your life, you do not go to these extremes of emotions, because any extreme will throw you off balance. If you notice, even if you get to these really, really high states of joy, it's very difficult on a planet like Earth, where there's there's duality, to maintain these very, very high states of bliss and these very low states of despair. But it is absolutely possible to get to the middle, that place of neutrality, and become one of the children of the middle way. And the easiest way to do that is to move into an understanding of what's going on. And so when you understand energy and how scientifically or from a standpoint of quantum physics, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just exists. It is. And what we need to master is right use of energy and move into higher states of awareness and understanding about how energy works. And all of us are directly connected to Source. The problem is that when we move out of a state of neutrality and we move anywhere on the other side of neutrality, we're cutting ourselves off from Source. And so all of this time and energy that we spend wallowing in negativity and being victims and giving our power away and giving consent to people who have figured out how to harvest your energy. It's called louche energy. Any kind of negative energy will do. Anything that is on the other side of neutrality, there are people who and beings who have figured out how to, they're called energy vampires, how to take your energy from you. And so I think when you start to look at the whole reality of parasites, and I talk about ego a lot, and of course the ego is the biggest parasite on the planet because it is energetic, and it's an energetic that we feed through our negative limiting thoughts and emotions. And then when you are so caught up in your ego, of course you're then creating this space for physical parasites. And a parasite, the definition is something that feeds off of a host, and it cannot survive by itself. It needs the host in order to survive, but it gives nothing positive or nothing beneficial back to the host. It's not a symbiotic relationship. And so I think the reality check, the KISS method, which as a professor, I used it in writing, and it's basically keep it simple, stupid. Because it's really, when you think about what we're doing, it's really stupid of us to feed vampires, energetic vampires. It just makes absolutely no sense, because there is no real positive net benefit to anyone to allow a parasite to feed off of you. It drains your energy. It makes you emotionally tired. It makes you physically tired, and then it makes you physically sick. So you really have to look and laugh at how stupid it is for any of us to allow ourselves to get caught up in that whole cycle of feeding any kind of energetic vampire, because it is a total waste of your energy, your life force, the gifts that you have been given from Source, from the creator of all that there is. You could do so much more with this energy in terms of creating a much more productive, healthier, happier life for yourself, not to mention for the planet, just by moving into neutrality and then playing with the higher emotions. We spend so much time wallowing in our addictions and in these emotions that end up costing us. In the end, it's this bitter pill. I got another great music video for you. It's called The Answer is in the Question. You got to learn how to ask better questions. Is produced, the music by Simon. I did the lyrics, and we've got Jane Doe, a.k.a. Crystal Grant,
There's nothing
on
new
vocals.
about the cycle of sorrow and pain, created by the illusions that keep us chasing after wind, caught up in the ego's endless vanity of punishing sins. When they are forgiven the instant we forsake the old ways of accusation and denial and come back to the fold. We've been given an invitation to come back home free to the forgiving heart of God where we all long to be. Still we hide behind the fig tree, trying to cover up, afraid we will be forced to drink from a bitter cup. Mistakes mistaken for setups instead of mere lessons that we twisted and turned into heat-seeking weapons. Put down your guns, tear down the walls of defenses. Use your heart to help you come back to your senses and remember the essence of who you truly are. An immortal spirit meant to be free and go far, beyond the confines of finite thoughts and into the stars. Get dressed in your best. Today is your graduation from 3D to 5th dimensional love, light, and libation. the rhythm of my life, living in the moment, free from all struggle and strife. Where was peace of mind hiding all this time? I can't believe just how hard it was to find. Why didn't I know I could just walk away? That suffering was never my debt to pay. Who was that pulling such sick jokes on me? Who placed these blinders so I could not see? Was it I who made this mad illusion? Was it I adding to my confusion? Did I submit myself to domestication, consuming dead food for medication? Wow, such cruel tricks we play on ourselves, hiding a virtual fortune of wealth. We buried deep and forgot the locale, till we became our own confidant and pal. Yes, the solution is in the question. It's not a mandate, just a suggestion. Ask yourself, who needs your forgiveness? Then give it and move on to claim your bliss.
All right, guys, that should have gotten you up and going. And the purpose of me playing my spoken word videos this morning is to give you a feeling of how quick and easy it is to lift yourself out of the negative end of emotions and move yourself into at least neutrality, because when you're listening to upbeat music and lyrics that are designed to raise your consciousness, it's impossible for you to stay in that place unless that's just where you really want to be. Because when we're talking about the law of consent, the beauty of planet Earth and the difficulty of planet Earth, which is why it's so challenging here, is that we tend to misuse our free will. And we have a tendency to believe that by giving away our power, that we are powerless, when we are these incredible infinite beings that just play so small on the negative end of the scale. And I truly think, when I was writing that video, the whole purpose of it is to get people to realize how much of their lives they've wasted on the negative end of the scale, and to graduate from that third dimensional reality and to move into their greatness. And essentially, the KISS method is just keep it simple, stupid. The ego loves to complicate everything and make you think that when you're going through disappointment, difficulty, or betrayal, that it's really hard, that it's really hard for you to get out of it. But when you think about how simple life is, you will understand that if you just stay with simplicity, everything will be just fine. And I was thinking about during the commercial break, the song, one line in the song that says, what cruel tricks we play on ourselves, hiding a veritable fortune of wealth that we have deep inside. We've hidden it and we've forgotten the locale. And it's all very symbolic of the fact that everything that we need in order to step into the mystical, magical, awesome creatures that we are is inside of us. But because we keep complicating everything, and we let the ego tell us that, oh, if it was that easy, everybody else would be doing it. But that is the total opposite of the truth. The reason why people aren't doing and being who they were meant to be is because they have complicated life. And even if you think about the law of one, that law is no different really than what we call the golden rule, which is what Christ was teaching, where he said, do unto others as you would have them do unto yourself. Well, at the end of the day, whatever you do to yourself, you're doing it to others, and whatever you do to others, you're also doing it to yourself, because everything is interconnected, whether you're talking about quantum physics and the string theory, or Native Americans and their whole concept of the spider web, or the internet where there's a web. We're all connected. And you know that it's true when you walk into a room of negative people and there's negative energy. They don't have to say a word. You feel it. You feel whatever people are sending out to you. And so by taking responsibility for just staying in the moment and monitoring the thoughts that are preceding the actual feeling, you can't feel bad without first having a negative limiting thought or belief, and a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking over and over. And none of those are concrete. None of those are set in stone. You can change your belief in the blink of an eye. You can change your feelings in the blink of an eye. And something as simple as if you notice, whenever you're feeling bad or whenever you're crying, everybody looks down when they're crying. They also look down when they're lying, or they can't look you in the eye when they're lying. But something as simple as whenever someone is crying and I want to pull them out of it, I will just tilt their chin up and just say, breathe. So just looking up versus looking down. It just reminds me of that saying of two men who were behind prison bars. One, it's nighttime, one looked down and saw the mud, and the other one looked up and saw the stars. So no matter where you are, it's a perspective. Are you looking down instead of looking up and at the expansiveness of the universe? And that whole concept of looking down, where you're limited to that little space of vision, versus looking up where you can see everything when you're looking up, that makes such a difference in how you perceive everything. But it's very important for us to monitor our thoughts and our emotions if we want to move out of that place of feeling like a victim, because we are never victims. We're only victims if we choose to be a victim. And everything is a choice. That's the law of consent. You have to consent to allow someone to steal your energy. You consent to the negative thoughts that you choose to keep thinking. And you also choose to be miserable. You also choose the associations and being around people that have these negative limiting thoughts and beliefs. So if you want to move out of disappointment and betrayal and difficulty, you have to just accept the fact that people are going to betray you on a planet where there is duality and where there is free will. They can choose to do that, and all you have to choose is how you're going to react to what people do to you. The fact is, we're on a free will planet, and you cannot control other people's free will. And so when we move into a place of understanding, I don't control other people's free will, there's no point in me getting upset about other people misusing their free will, but I can take myself out of that that actual environment where people are trying to control me or they are stealing my energy and protect my energy. That just makes common sense. Now, I know that common sense is not very common, and very few people exercise common sense, because I look at people sometimes when I'm talking to them and they're caught up in this negative loop of just insane, illogical thinking. There's nothing you can do that's going to make sense to them when they're caught up in that loop. And I think the best thing for people to do when you're dealing with someone who's being very, very difficult is to say, you're not very rational right now, and I'm wasting my time and energy talking to you. So when you want to behave sanely and rationally, we'll pick this up later, and then you just disconnect from that craziness, because with all of us being interconnected, you can unplug from someone who's very negative and then go plug into someone else who is positive. And you want to start looking at your relationships in terms of them being mutual, where you're having a mutually beneficial exchange of energy. Because if you are in relationships with people that are negatively polarized, then they've cut themselves off from the light. They've cut themselves off from their source of energy. And once you cut yourself off from source, then what you're going to have to do is steal other people's energy. And if you're full of light and you're positive, you notice that other people want to plug into you and drain you. So it's your job to literally protect your energy from people who just want to plug into you. And that's why I brought up the point in the introduction that we've got to guard our energy through rest and relaxation. These things are so simple, guys. That's why we got to keep it simple. Usually when you can't get out of a negative frame of mind, they're very simple things that you need to check in. Am I hungry? If you are, get something healthy to eat. But first, ask yourself, am I thirsty? You're usually dehydrated and your brain cells aren't working properly. So go get some water first, some good alkaline water with a high pH. Drink that first. Put some lemon in it. And then if that's not doing it for you, if you're not feeling better, you're not feeling energetic, go take a nap. How simple is that? When we're dealing with a baby, isn't that where we check first if they're being irritable? Okay, are they uncomfortable? Are they wet? Do they need their diaper changed? Are they hungry? Do they need a nap? Okay, we're no different, people. We have to take care of ourselves. And if you notice, the people who are energetic vampires, they have a sixth sense of when you're really tired and when your energy is low. And the first thing they're going to do is come knocking or come calling with some emergency that they can't handle. And just pay attention to them. When you give them a logical solution, if they say, no, then you ask them, did you come to solve this problem, or did you just want to whine and suck my energy? Because you usually know what the answer is. And if they're just there to suck your energy and be negative, then your job is to say, no, I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. So I'm going to come back and deal with you when you're in a better mood, and encourage them. We talked on the show when we had Sotero on about going into nature and just sitting under a tree, hugging a tree, laying down on Mother Earth, giving her love and energy, and receiving it back, because nature is always giving. The problem is we're always taking, and we've got to get to the middle, guys. We got to get back in balance. That's what we're here to do. And if we can just get to the middle, if we can become children of the middle way and look at life as just a series of tests, and are we passing our test or are we failing our test? Because the tests are going to continue. Earth is a schoolroom, and you're never going to graduate. I have a Ph.D., and there is no end to my learning or the classes that I continue to create or enroll myself myself in. And so if you consider the fact that our brains have infinite capacity for learning, how could you be foolish enough to think that you have mastered anything or that you're anywhere near to self-mastery of anything? And just stop this whole nonsense of I know whenever somebody's telling you something. Because if you're in a negative space and you're not happy and you're not balanced and you're not healthy, then what you think you know, you really don't know it in the sense that you haven't mastered it and you're not applying it properly. So just be this empty vessel where Source can pour into you and give you more so that you can actually master what you think you know. And we're a long way from self-mastery. So I think if we can just look at ourselves as perpetual students, and we're in this schoolroom called Earth, and you graduate from one level to the next level, to the next level, and that is the joy, and that is the beauty of it, is there's infinite growth and infinite self-expansion, and there's so much to know and so many places to go and so much to do. You need to get excited about this journey, guys, and move out of the dark side and into the middle. That's all we're talking about right now. If we can just move into the middle. So now, very quickly, I'm going to talk about how we allow ourselves to get hijacked by other people's negative energy, and how we also hijack ourselves. It's very easy to just pay attention to how you're breathing and what thoughts are coming into your head. And most of the thoughts that we allow to come into our head are negative thoughts because we're tapping into the collective unconscious, and most of the collective unconscious is full of misery and craziness and insane programs. And so you got to listen to the thoughts that are coming into your head, and if they're crazy thoughts, why do you want to chase them? Most of those thoughts are not yours anyway, because we're all connected and we're around a lot of crazy people on this planet. Insanity seems to be the rule of thumb. So the whole thing about being sane makes you a really small minority because most people love to chase those crazy thoughts. So examine every thought that comes in that is kind of like really pushing at you and go, that's pretty crazy. No, I don't think I'm going to entertain that. Or that's a thought that I've been thinking my whole life and it hasn't gotten me, where I want to go. So it's become a really ingrained negative belief system. So let me sit down and examine my unexamined assumptions about everything and just start over new and know that you have a choice. I mean, this is free will, guys. We're just exercising it wrongly. And all we've got to do is say yes to the infinite possibilities that we've never explored, that we've never allowed ourselves to even play with. There is so much that we've not experienced. Why would you keep yourself in these same negative, limiting relationships? Try something new. How about a little joy? How about a little simplicity? How about just keeping everything simple and knowing that you have a choice in how you feel, and you can unplug from the matrix anytime just by going outside, eating better, staying in the moment, and keeping it simple. I think I should just open up with the first line from M. Scott Peck's book I just absolutely love, called The Road Less Traveled. And the first line says, life is difficult. So, hey, you chose to come to planet Earth. It is one of the most difficult planets to graduate from, but it is possible, and we're proving it with our course in singularity. But you're not going to get there if you want everything to be easy. If you thought this was going to be an easy ride, you landed on the wrong planet. But guess what? You're here now, and you might as well enjoy the ride. And if you just accept that the simplicity of that statement, statement, life is difficult. Now, what are difficulties for? They're designed to help you grow. So you can choose to be angry because life is difficult, but that's not going to get you past the difficulty. You can look at it like a puzzle. Okay, I'm missing a piece. And, I loved doing these 1,000-piece puzzles when I was a kid because it really teaches you to figure things out. And I think that we just have not been given very good coping skills for how to deal with life. What we tend to do is, most people that I talk to, they escape. They just go somewhere else in their head, or they escape through eating, or they escape through sex and lust and every kind of addiction that you can think of. And that's the reason why we have what we call the 7 deadly sins, because they will keep you in those low levels. Yeah, you might get a high from eating your sugar or your drugs or your cigarettes or whatever, or sex or lust, but you are certainly going to crash, and you're going to wake up craving and chasing after the next high and the next high, and they're never as good as the first high. So you can stay on that monkey roller coaster or that hamster wheel, or you can say, I think I've had enough of that ride, so let me try something else. Maybe being angry at what is never going to get me where I'm trying to go, so let's just try another way to look at life, because where would you be without challenges? We're here to grow. And so every day, if you just accept that there's going to be a test, there's going to be a difficulty, and I can just keep it simple and say, this is a test, and I'm here to pass all of my tests. That's it. We didn't say get 100%. We just said pass. And we know when you're in school, 50% is passing in some classes is 60%, but it's not 80%. And if we could it's not 100%. So if we can just move in somewhere near the middle, it's so less stressful, people. We don't have to be stressed out by other people's craziness. We can just look at them and go, okay, that's just how they're not dealing very well with life. And I don't, but for the grace of God, there goes I. That used to be me. So what I'm going to do is focus on trying to spread joy everywhere I go, and being as peaceful as I can be, and being of service and assistance when people are willing to listen. And if they're not willing to listen, and if they don't want help and they just want to wallow in their misery, let them go and do that until they're ready to move into something greater, because that's their lesson. And you just do you, and by doing you, that is the best thing you can do for the planet. So that's the message that I want to leave with you guys today, is work on yourself and continually look at your insanity and your psychosis and decide, do I want to remain stupid? Do I want to stay stuck on stupid? Or do I want to be a master? It's your choice. And I say, choose self-mastery, choose love, choose bliss.